What is going on, guys? My name is Mad Dog Games and welcome to another episode of my Play Like a Pro series, where we're going to share essential tips and tricks for playing this week's character. This time we have the pro player GRR joining us today.
Hello, my name is GRR and I've been playing NRS games competitively for 8 years. And today I want to share with all of you on how to play like a pro with Geras. You can follow me on my social media links on my Twitter, which is GRR_George, Twitch, Mr_GRR, and YouTube, which is just GRR. And you can find all of those links down below in the description.
Before we start, I do have other videos and playlists that you might be interested in, all found also in the description down below. If you guys want more videos like this featuring a pro player, like this video to let me know. With that being said, let us get started. Now, I do want to ask you one important question, GRR, and that is, what is your favorite variation and why?
So this is my favorite variation loadout that I like to use competitively. One of the moves that I add onto it is the quicksand, which is a modifier for the base sand trap that does more damage, it has a more damaging crushing blow, grants projectile immunity after connecting it, while also teleporting to the opponent in close range. Next, I also like to use shifting sands because it is a special move that hinders the opponent's movement and specials, while also giving Geras combos mid-screen. And lastly, I like to use Sand Simulacrum because it gives Geras extra mobility and options to launch and pressure off of setups with the use of meter.
Now we can share his tips and tricks and strategies for playing Geras.
One of Geras' main string is Matter of Time, an 11 frame mid attack that is -6 on block. This move is great for hit confirming to more damage and can launch for a combo in the corner. One of the weaknesses of the string is that it can be flawless blocked and punished with the block attack. Also against certain matchups, some characters like Sub-Zero can low profile the string and punish with a down 3. One way to get around it is using the Deathless Giant into Big Fist, which will leave you safe at -7 on block. But this time, you won't have the risk of being punished from the last hit. So I recommend doing this to keep you safe. So one of the most important moves for Geras is his Titan Tackle, a command grab that is a mid, which means it cannot be ducked and has to be jumped in order to be punished. And while you do have to give a bed of spikes to equip this move, it is worth equipping because it gives Geras tick throws, a crushing blow, and corner carry. If you're wanting to perform a tick throw, you can use it with straight jab, heavy fist, and body buster. Tick throwing your opponent can be a very effective strategy because this mixes your opponent up and forces them to make a decision against your unblockable grabs. Just know, landing the first hit on your opponent will cause the command grab to miss. So be careful and learn your opponent's block patterns. Another use for this special move is that it can carry your opponent all the way to the corner by holding 2. Sometimes you want to carry your opponent as close to the corner as you can in order to trap them for more pressure and force mistakes. Or you can end the grab early to create space for zoning. And remember that reaching the corner with Titan Tackle at max distance will give you a crushing blow. So there is an incentive to doing that too. Geras' Time Splash is a jump attack with a great horizontal hitbox. It allows Geras to hit people even from behind. It's best used after your opponent is knocked down to continue pressure and mix the opponent up. This is also great because it does leave you plus on block. Be wary of opponents that are flawless blocking this jump in, as it will leave you safe but negative on block, and punishable on block attacks. Alter your Time Splash timing to avoid this. I highly recommend using standing 1-1 or 2-4 for easier hit confirms no matter what side you land on. Geras' front and back throws are great offensive tools because it places the opponent close to him after landing the grab. This makes his regular grabs very unique since most characters have one or both sides give distance to the opponent. The grab leaves Geras in the perfect range to keep pressuring the opponent on knockdown. Although you don't have a crushing blow on either side, Geras can throw loop his opponent to make up for this. If you're using bed of spikes, this becomes essential to his overall game plan, so you still need a way to open your opponent up if they keep blocking your attacks. Shifting Sands is a special move that hinders your opponent's movements and attacks. Geras creates a vortex with sand pulling from both sides into it. and it either pulls the opponent forward or backwards depending on which side they are standing on. Shifting sands can be used in 4 different directions, similar to Sand Trap. You can set the special move up by using Matter of Time to cancel the recovery of the string and force the opponent on the vortex. Shifting sands also lets Geras perform corner combos mid-screen by suspending the gravity of the opponent after he launches them. Doing this will add more damage to basic combos not possible mid-screen. I personally like to use this because it's great for space control and restricts some characters' strings and special moves. For example, Sub-Zero Slide, Jackie's Bionic Bounce, and Rain's Argus Plunge are moves that are all affected by shifting sands. Sand Simulacrum is a special move that allows Geras to create a clone of himself that stays on the stage for 5 full seconds. He can choose to either teleport to the clone's position or spend a bar of offense meter to make it explode and launch for a combo. The Sand Clone Explosion is plus 12 on block, making him one of the only characters with a launcher that's very plus on block. A few reasons why I love this special move is because it's perfect for pressure, zoning, and setups. I like to use the clone as a danger zone for the opponent, since it's risky to move near or past it because of the explosion. A few strategies you can do while using the clone is to use Deathless Giant into Amplified Sand Clone to make it explode, and then Deathless Giant again to frame trap and pressure your opponent. This will also open up options to use Titan Tackle if they keep blocking the clone explosions. If the explosion lands, you can easily hit confirm into a combo and set up another clone. Sand Simulacrum also adds flexibilities to his matchups. You can retreat and force your opponent to approach you, which then creates mistakes and allows you to land a sand trap or teleport behind them to punish or dodge a projectile. Finally, this special move is great because it allows Geras to create frame traps if done correctly. Not only does this combo give you decent damage, but it doesn't give the opponent a chance to wake up and allows you to frame trap or do a mix-up on them for more damage. Temporal Advantage is a default special move that freezes the opponent in place and gives you free hits on them. A special property of this move is that after the freeze ends, the opponent's hit reaction occurs to the last attack given. For example, if the last attack is a down 2, the opponent will be launched after the freeze ends. This allows Geras to either do setups or juggle for a combo. Here is a demonstration of a juggle combo occurring. Even in the case that your opponent goes for a breakaway afterwards, it doesn't take away the guaranteed damage given during the freeze. In some instances, doing an unbreakable combo is much more effective as you get to eliminate a defensive option that's usually available in other situations. So it's a scenario I highly recommend learning and be ready for. Combining Sand Simulacrum with Temporal Advantage allows Geras to create damaging combos and setups that give him multiple opportunities to pressure his opponent. It is worth mentioning that this special move does scale your combo by a lot, so be careful in using this with Fatal Blow without knowing the proper setup and conversion. Flying Knee is a forward advancing mid attack that starts up at 11 frames and is safe on block at -3. The block frames is also variable depending on when the attack lands during its active frames, which can make the move -3 to +1 on block. Flying Knee can be used as a stagger and to a pressure on block. It's also a great anti-air and can follow up for a conversion. Ripple in Time is the follow-up string that also gives a lot of advantage on knockdown. The knockdown is a great choice because it gives you 35 frames of hit advantage, which means you can approach or retreat after landing this attack. This also allows Geras to safely set up Sand Simulacrum or Shifting Sands immediately after landing the string. Quicksand is a low special move that enhances his base sand trap. It has 17 frames of startup and is unsafe at -19 on block. The frame data and startup animation is the same, but the properties after landing the attack is drastically different. This special move is worth equipping because landing it makes Geras immune to projectiles that would normally interrupt the animation and full damage on a sand trap. The crushing blow requirement for quicksand is to miss 2 of them and land the next to trigger it. The alternate requirement is to break the armor of the opponent, which can be done against a breakaway attempt. Landing the crushing blow will result in massive damage. This is one of Geras' strongest special moves in the game, since it heavily controls neutral and doesn't allow your opponent to move freely without blocking low. Landing just 1 quicksand changes the momentum in your favor for continuous pressure while avoiding damage from the opponent's projectiles, making it suitable for counter zoning. This can also be used as a tool for zoning since it forces the opponent to move in carefully and take risks with jumping in an attempt to punish Geras. Combine it with Sand Simulacrum, and shifting sands can make for an effective zoning and rushdown loadout. Your opponent will try to find a way to get in, but will struggle with the overwhelming mobility and threat of quicksand as they're moving through the stage. Bed of Spikes is a special move that allows Geras to juggle the opponent for a damaging combo. This move replaces Titan Tackle, so you have to choose what kind of playstyle you are looking for. Bed of Spikes are for those that are looking for a huge reward for landing your attacks and converting off anti-airs, less mix-up opportunities for more damage. For beginners that are playing Geras, I recommend using this one because it is a much easier special move to learn and utilize, as well as being in line with other characters with damaging launchers such as Baraka or Spawn. This move also leaves the opponent close to Geras, which allows him to continuous pressure. Without End is a standard string attack that starts up with straight jab at 7 frames, and it is safe on block at -7. It's a decent string to use because you can follow up with End of Time, which is a grab bender that only comes out on hit, which keeps you safe. This string also has a crushing blow that triggers if the 3rd hit of Without End only connects, leading to significant damage. However, because of this, your opponent will be expected to block high to prevent getting hit. What you can do is use Without Beginning into Quicksand, which is a low attack to check your opponent instead. The opponent will be afraid of the overhead to avoid taking a lot of damage, so using the low instead of the overhead will put them on the defense for both options. But keep in mind that using Quicksand is risky because if they block it, it is fully punishable at -19 on block. And I would have to emphasize that this is not a true mix-up, since the opponent can block the Quicksand and the overhead, since the overhead comes out slower than the Quicksand. This would be used more as a test for the opponent's block patterns, but this isn't a strategy that you can use all the time. To increase the reward for using the low, make sure to fulfill the crushing blow requirement of Quicksand to make it a high risk, high reward. The safer option would to use standing 1 into grab or standing 1 into tick throw, which would throw your opponent off if they're anticipating the lower overhead. So learn your opponent's block patterns and use the right necessary tools accordingly. Geras has one of the best pokes in the game, because his knee bash has a 6-frame startup with decent range. Once Geras lands knee bash, the opponent has to guess between getting hit by a string or getting grabbed by his regular throw or Titan Tackle, which is one of the reasons he's strong up close. And Pounding Sand also has great range while being disjointed from Geras, meaning there's less risk in getting hit from the opponent's attacks. Mastering the poke game with Geras is essential to his game plan. Use it often and be mindful of his deadly mix-ups and pressure against the opponent. Titan Charge is Geras' wake up and block attack that has 9 frames of startup, which makes it one of the faster wake ups in the game. This is a great tool to use against pokes and jump ins since it can consistently punish and launch the opponent for a combo. This greatly increases offensive power because in normal situations where the opponent is attempting to take their turn back from Geras' attacks, he can time his defense to punish the opponent and start his own offense instead, which forces mind games on the opponent to change their timings and decisions with what attacks to use. This move requires 1 bar of offense and defense meter, so make sure you manage it well to have those options available. Stepping it back gives Geras a special ability to cancel out of his basic attacks for the cost of 1 bar of offense meter. This changes the frame data and properties of his basic attacks, which give him more options on combo starters or get better positioning and recovery for missing these attacks. For example, his shoulder charge is normally -7 on block and leaves him up close to his opponent. With stepping it back, this basic attack becomes 0 on block and rewinds him to his starting position from where he started the shoulder charge. This applies to his other basic attacks, most notably his chrono kick. Normally this move is -6 on block, but if you stepping it back, not only is it +8 on block, but it also allows you to hit confirm for it to a full combo afterwards. This gives Geras better options off his less used basic attacks and gives him another option for unbreakable damage in combination with his temporal advantage. It should be noted that this ability takes 2 slots of your custom loadout, so you have less special moves than other loadouts. But you still keep Titan Tackle and temporal advantage since they are base moves. Use Stepping It Back and Quicksand if you want a simple aggressive loadout that specializes in using basic attacks for damage and pressure.
And that is all the essential tips for playing Geras. I really want to thank you, GRR, for helping us become a pro Geras player.
Thank you so much for having me, Mad Dog. I had fun working together and creating this guide with you. And thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it will help you get started on how to play Geras on the highest level. Try not to be discouraged if you're not doing well in your matches at first. It takes practice to become comfortable with any character. It's all about finding what works for you. Anything you discovered while learning Geras? Share in the comments below. Have a great day, everyone.
You can find his Twitch and other social media platforms in the description down below. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon because there will be more videos like this in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.